morning. Thank you for staying tuned to Citizen TV. This is Daybreak on the 17th day of January 2022. A very important day for IEBC as they begin the second phase of enhanced continuous voter registration that is targeting 4.5 million new voters. Will they be successful? You recall that late last year, they had a phase one that was targeting up to 4.5 million, but the global figure was 6 million. They only got 1.5 million registered voters. So it is the magic that they're going to use this time. But also looking at the dailies, that you see some of the stories making headlines on the front page of the Standard is fresh battle to save BBI reggae. You know that the Supreme Court is beginning the hearing tomorrow all the way to Thursday, where you will have those that are appealing against that decision of the Court of Appeal will be having an opportunity to make their presentations, and also the initial petitioners will have an opportunity to respond. The time has been shared or split across the 3 days for the different parties to that matter. The Standard is talking about what the case will mean for both Uhuru and Raila, then for Ruto, and then for IEBC. And of course, some of the issues of contention is whether the law review was constitutional, the proposed law review under the BBI, the question of the 70 constituencies. If judges say BBI is constitutional, then the country can create more constituencies, and can the president be sued? This is among 7 questions the Supreme Court will have to decide on. But I also see the matters politics, complex game, why Wiper ANC will be headache for Raila and Ruto. If Kalonzo and Mudavadi stick together, they will change the two-horse race narrative and could force a rerun. By vying separately, their power influence will be, diminished. And we'll be looking at that shortly from now. Then on the front page of the Daily Nation, it's a story of why your SACCO savings are at risk, talking about how different SACCOs are securing their information, having to hire some consulting firms that are not properly vetted, and they are not in a position to secure your personal information or personal data, and also what your resources may be. Then teachers-employer resume salary talks. The pay raise negotiations between Teacher Service Commission and the Kenya National Union of Teachers have resumed, with the union reportedly pushing for a basic salary increment of between 15 to 20%. That is on matters education. Then on politics, the Daily Nation is reporting Ruto, Raila go online. It fears battle for votes. The race to succeed President Kenyatta is fueling a nasty cyber warfare between rival political factions, with the dirty propaganda and misinformation becoming ever more intense as the clock ticks towards the August 9 general election. And of course, just to indicate here, 204 days to the general election, and different political parties, different political formations going towards and planning for that particular election. In studio, we have different personalities. We have Robert Mboi, the Member of Parliament for Kathiani constituency. Welcome back to the show and Happy New Year.
Thank you, Sam. Happy New Year to you too.
It's actually the first time you're here this year. Gladys Boss, second time on the show. Good morning.
Good morning.
She's the woman representative for us in Gishu. We have Herman Manyora, political commentator and also lecturer at the University of Nairobi. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And then we have one Fred Okango, who is the Secretary of Political Affairs within the Independence Party, KANU, joining us via virtually rather from Nakuru. Good morning, Fred.
Good morning and Happy New Year, Sam.
Happy New Year to you. It's also the very first time that we're having him on the show this morning. And just quickly to look at the stories that are informing conversations, and I want us to begin by looking at the One Kenya Alliance. And before I play some of the clips that we have, Fred, now that you're in Nakuru, it's just last week that we had a meeting, a technical committee meeting in Naivasha or in Nakuru. We're expecting that there would be an announcement, excuse me, on who will be the flag bearer for the alliance. What is the true position as the coalition or the alliance stands at the moment?
Thank you, Sam. Thank you very much. Now, One Kenya Alliance as a political formation that constitutes Kenya African National Union, led by Senator Gideon Moi, Wiper Democratic Party, led by Principal Kalonzo Musyoka, Ford Kenya, led by Moses Masika Wetangula, and ANC led by Mudavadi. And of course, with our partners Mount Kenya Unity Forum, Kabogo, Honorable Kabogo, Martha Karua, and DP party leader, Speaker Justice Muturi, did send representatives at the technical committee meeting in Elementary Nakuru. And what happened, Sam, in that meeting, we had got a task. I'm a member of that committee. We had a task to do. First of all, is to prepare a report, particularly on the effects of the Political Party Amendment Bill 2021 on the coalition. Also, to present to the principles that form the pinnacle, the coalition draft agreement, and also to present to them what we call memorandum of intent that was bringing on board, the Mount Kenya Unity Forum, our partners, and to present to them what we call deed of assignment that was now incorporating everyone as OKA coalition member. Mm-hmm. That assignment was done, and the last assignment was to present to them the findings and the report on the flag bearer, which we did do. That assignment has been done. The report has been given to the principals. The principals have seen it. They have taken the report back to their constituent parties, and we are ready to proceed. There's no worry about it, because we believe that One Kenya Alliance that is anchored on the principle of peace and unity shall indeed produce a flag bearer at the right time. And that exercise shall only be done by One Kenya Alliance. It's an exclusive exercise that will be done by One Kenya Alliance. The media cannot do it. Our competitors cannot do it. But having said that, the individual parties in One Kenya Alliance are also alive to the fact, like KANU, they are alive to the fact that we are in a competition, and that competition is furthered by the principles that govern the party in forming the next government. So once that report is given to the principal, it has been done, they'll get back to us and we shall proceed.
Mm-hmm. Okay, all right, Fred, and we'll be getting more from that. I want us to listen to some of the voices of the principals within One Kenya Alliance and what they said about the matters as they are. Listen.
I do not think Brother Musalia is the type of person who would be wooed at night and not say it during the day. He says it as it is. So stop this wooing business.
It is work in progress, and it's working. And very soon we will be unveiling our presidential candidate. And it'll be soon. So
because we have received a report of the technical committee, and that report we are going to deal with in the next few days, next few weeks, perhaps not even weeks.
As OKA will not unveil our candidate at this hotel. It will be a much bigger event in a much better chosen environment within the city of Nairobi.
All right, so those are some of the principles, and they were reacting to the reality that Musalia Mudavadi was not in attendance of that meeting. But Cleophas Malala, the senator of Kakamega, spoke about Mudavadi's fate, and as soon as we have that, we'll be in a position to bring it to you. Let's listen to what he said about that.
Mkutano wa OKA, mumesikia ati technical committee ya OKA One Kenya Alliance inasema kwamba ati 2022 ati Kalonzo ndio akue flag bearer alafu Musalia akue chini yake. Hiyo inawezekana kweli? Sisi tunataka tuambie kwamba mtoni ndogo ndio inamwaga kwa mtoni kubwa.
All right, so Honorable Mbowe, because you're a member of Wiper and Wiper is part of One Kenya Alliance, so where is all this confusion? Because the principals come and tell us that Musalia Mudavadi did not attend, not because he means ill, I'm paraphrasing, for the alliance. But then you see Senator Cleophas Malala saying that the plan appears to be to have Musalia Mudavadi as running mate. I mean, what is the truth? What do you know about this?
Yeah, thank you, Sam. Sam, from where I sit, I think Fred, who is a member of the technical team, has given us a picture that the principals have an idea and a report about what is happening, which is yet to be shared with all of us. I can assure you, we don't have access to all the information. But listening to Cleophas Malala, and the kind of comments he's making, I'm surprised, because I thought that we agreed that we are giving this responsibility to our principals to make the decision for us. And as foot soldiers, obviously, all of us have an interest. I have an interest in my party leader being the candidate, and I have many, many reasons why I think he's the best choice. Malala may have his own, but at the end of the day, clearly, I think it's a decision that we have agreed as One Kenya Alliance to leave to the principals. So for us to go to rallies and start shouting, you know, from the rooftops that there is bigger streams, there is smaller rivers, that's belittling members of the same coalition. And this is coming from a senator who has clearly been having a funny relationship with our opponents in UDA.
What do you mean funny?
An interesting relationship. It's very unfortunate, because really we are in competition, and one of our competitors, clearly, critically, what we see as a competitor is a UDA leadership. So for him to be, you know, having meetings and sharing podium with the UDA, it's already a clear indication that that is where he's headed. I don't know whether his party leader is headed there, but I know he's headed there because it's clear. I mean, if you find me in a podium and I am dressed in wiper colors and I'm hanging around with people in yellow and we are speaking the same language, clearly it means we are probably charting a path to 2022 together. So Cleophas Malala really cannot speak for One Kenya Alliance. He's already gone.
Do you think One Kenya Alliance is going to play any significant role as One Kenya Alliance in 2022?
I did believe that it would. And see, let me just put it this way. One Kenya Alliance is not Cleophas Malala. He can leave and One Kenya Alliance continues. They are members of ANC who have gone to Azimio, which is not One Kenya Alliance. There are members of ANC who have gone to UDA, like he has gone to UDA. There are other members of other parties that may even, you know, move away from the constituent parties. But I believe that the parties that make up One Kenya Alliance, Wiper being a dominant party in that coalition, will still hold together. And I can tell you this, Sam, politics is very volatile. Some may leave, some may fall by the wayside. That does not stop the path. And that does not stop our move towards seeking for presidency under the alliance in 2022. Because One Kenya Alliance is not made up of one individual or one party. There are many parties. So maybe some may not be able to hang on up to the end. That happens. So I do believe that One Kenya Alliance, as constituted now, we are fighting to increase the numbers. We are going to get more people coming on board. You've seen as my party leader was in Meru, trying to woo Kiraito to join us, to work together with us. So clearly we are still trying to get more people. But in the process, if we lose one, it's unfortunate. We don't want to lose anyone. But if we lose one or two, I mean, that's a game of politics.
I mean, in a scale of 1 to 10, what are the chances that Musalia Mudavadi will continue to work with One Kenya Alliance, in your view?
I think his comments have been fairly positive. But the comments from Malala have been very negative.
No. Let's talk about Musalia Mudavadi.
I'm trying to tie the two because...
Meeting at Element Tighter.
You know, I'm trying to tie the two because clearly he has never indicated that he's not working with One Kenya Alliance. And let me say this. Musalia Mudavadi is a principal in One Kenya Alliance, so I give him utmost respect. But you see, the thing is, the speculation that is coming out from all corners is that he may be moving out. And I expect that, and that's what my party leader said, that he as a leader, if he was moving out, he should be able to say, I want to go to another coalition. We were in NASA coalition. We called a press conference and announced that we are moving out of NASA coalition for the following reasons. And we moved on.
Do you want to use my scale, 1 to 10?
The scale of 1 to 10, I think from the things he says, I think we can say he's still 9 with us. The one is because of Malala.
Oh, really? And Honorable Boss, I mean, when you're looking at this, and it's just over 6 months for political parties and political formations to come together and really craft a road to the election. What does One Kenya Alliance tell you? There's this suspicion that Musalia Mudavadi, ANC, is working so hard to work with your presidential candidate, that is William Ruto. What's the truth?
I think my only comment on this issue is I'm watching what One Kenya Alliance is doing with great amusement. I think this is the first time in the history of Kenya that we have a presidential candidate who is manufactured and created in a boardroom. Because they set out a list of questions, they said they would interview, they have a technical committee, then they will unveil a presidential candidate. A presidential candidate is unveiled by the people. Already, they would be, the way a presidential candidate comes out is a person is mentioned or they announce that they are interested in running. And what happens is the public begin to discuss it, and there's public discourse about it. And people begin to say, what does this person have to offer for us? The person begins to send out messaging to the public, explaining what they can do for the country and the voters. That is how a presidential candidate is unveiled. But these boardroom issues, first they started with an interview by 5 bigwigs, moneyed guys, at a safari park. They undertook the interview. Never mind that those 5 people were not sent by the voters. The millions of voters who vote are the people who actually should be speaking. So in all this process,
what interviews are you talking about?
All this process, if you remember, there was interviews conducted by the Mount Kenya Foundation.
I thought they were luncheons, not necessarily interviews.
It was an interview, and the newspaper carried 2 pages of what each candidate said that they would offer. And it was an actual interview. So don't try and deny it. That happened. After now, they have a technical committee. The technical committee is the voters, the millions of voters who line up to vote. Those are the people who interview any presidential candidate. That's why you find words that they are beginning to talk as if it is it's a small club that decide who becomes president of Kenya. What is so difficult about these people presenting themselves to the Kenyan public, rather than have in big hotels, they're having discussions and boardroom meetings and reports which are yet to be read. Then the reports will be taken to another smaller group in another hotel and then discussed and then unveiled. It's very interesting. It's very strange politics.
Honorable Boss, is it true that Musalia Mudavadi has been in talks with the Deputy President?
I think UDA is in talks with everybody. Very many people. That's why you find many people who have previously been in the Azimio camp have now moved to UDA. These conversations go on all the time, and that is part of politics. And that is what is ongoing. Okay. Including his own party leader.
Oh, is it?
No, I'm saying everybody's having conversations with everyone. Yeah, so he knows his party leader has conversations with other people. So this is an ongoing process. I don't think it's anything unique. And it is not something that should be found odd. And that's why you've seen that several, that's why you find people.
Do I get the notion that it's okay
you find out somebody like Anwai Guru, who was the biggest supporter of Raila, is now with UDA. You find somebody like Wamushomba, who was also working with them, has since moved. Why? Because they now had the sense to listen to the voters, not the boardroom. And even if you watch what is happening at the moment, the Raila Odinga that we used to know never used to operate in the boardroom. Raila Odinga was one person who could go to Uhuru Park and it would get jam-packed because he reached out to the people directly. Right now, he's a pale shadow of the Raila Odinga that used to be.
For now, let's talk about One Kenya Alliance because it's expanding.
How can I talk about an organization I don't belong to? I'm just telling you what what my view is, my balcony view is.
Don't worry.
What I'm seeing and what they said. I heard them say that we are work in progress, that we have a technical committee, that there is going to be a report, and then the report will be taken back by the principals to their various parties, then make a decision, then come back, then unveil. That is their own words. So all I know about One Kenya Alliance is what they tell us.
That's fine.
I cannot speculate what they talk in the boardroom because I don't operate in the boardroom.
He's raising an important
people of Kenya.
He's asking why would you then talk about Azimio and you don't belong there?
No, I'm talking anyway, about what the facts that are in public knowledge.
That's fine. Let's
facts that are within my knowledge and facts that have just been stated. In fact, what I've said is what they memorized there.
Let's listen to Kalonzo Musyoka, who spoke in Yatta in a meeting that had been called to have a declaration or to decide on the fate of that region. Listen.
Ati kusema two-horse race, ati two farasi wawili, two antagonistic, toxic farasi. Hey! Farasi aina gani hiyo? Hiyo sio ile farasi ya Ngong. Hii ni farasi ya kwenda kuzimu. We have to save this nation. I am running for President of the Republic of Kenya.
You know,
Clear.
Herman Manyora is actually clapping at, or is it for Kalonzo Musyoka? Herman, what do you make of all these conversations? Because it had been a week that people were expecting they would hear the future of One Kenya Alliance in terms of a presidential ticket. Then they came and told us that this is work in progress. We're not yet in mid-month. We have the whole of January to negotiate. Then the following day you hear Kalonzo Musyoka saying, I'm running for the presidency of this country. What's going on?
So this is normal in politics, like Gladys says. When I was in primary school, many years ago, we used to have what we used to call first 11 and second 11 football teams in school. Mm-hmm. So before the first 11, that is the senior team, we have this junior team, the second 11, clearing the field. I think the die is cast. Mm-hmm. The game is clear. Elimination stage is over. And the race is between Raila and Ruto. So really, these others are just talking, and which is again normal. There's nothing wrong with that. And Gladys Boschele also is saying that boardroom. That's how politics is played everywhere in the world, mm-hmm. including 2012. Bringing Ruto and Uhuru together was boardroom. Snatching Mudavadi, what Ruto and Uhuru had given him, the demon, the fiasco. People like Jimmy Wanjigi did a lot of boardroom stuff. So that's really normal. And what is happening is normal. Even when you are sure you are not going to be in the race, you make a little noise mm-hmm. to be noticed so that you can be placed somewhere. You get it? So these guys are all in order. They are making a little noise so that Ruto may recognize them. Raila may also see them. And finally, perhaps align them with their... Because we expect a lot of alignments, mm-hmm. and they are just trying to get space. But as for the rest... So
what role will they play? Will they go it as One Kenya Alliance, or they'll have to join one of the...
There's nothing like One Kenya Alliance. This I've said so many times, this was a holding ground. You see, politics is a tough game. It's mm-hmm. like a game of chess. There's always the master player. If you left Mudavadi and Kalonzo on their own, then Ruto will very easily have pounced on them. So collect them in one holding ground. Keep them safe from Ruto. And at the right time, then you move the chess, those pieces.
Pounds.
So there's really nothing like One Kenya Alliance. It was just a holding ground.
That's what I'm asking. What role will they play?
One Kenya Alliance will not play any role as One Kenya Alliance. Uh-huh. But the individual players within One Kenya will help shape the politics of 2022. I can assure you, the politics of this country is beginning as soon as the bill before Senate mm-hmm. goes through. Then you will see moves being made. And as soon as, and then thereafter, and very soon, when the Supreme Court pronounces itself on the BBI case, then you'll begin to see politics. Then you begin to see the chessboard. Mm-hmm. Then you'll begin to see Kalonzo fitting somewhere, Mudavadi, they will all fit somewhere. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Fred, I mean, would you know who the preferred presidential candidate of One Kenya Alliance is and the preferred running mate? Would you know?
Thank you, Sam. Before I answer you, allow me to just respond to a few issues. The issue of Senator Malala, my good friend, is not a principal. He doesn't sit at the pinnacle. He is not a member of the technical committee. He has no information about the happenings of the technical committee unless he is briefed by his boss, Musalia Mudavadi. Honorable Musalia Mudavadi did send a representative in the name of Kinoti who sat throughout the sessions and is privy to the information and has the report. And therefore, it is wrong for someone to believe that just because Malala speaks, Mudavadi speaks. Unless Mudavadi speaks for himself, and we wait for the NDC of Mudavadi that will endorse him on 23rd, hopefully, so that he can go and look for more friends. Number two, the chair of OKA Technical Committee, Mr. Sami Karanja, is a member of ANC. He read the statement. That shows you the commitment that Mudavadi has in OKA to that extent. Then I have heard Boss Shulei say that boardroom. I'm not sure if Honorable Boss Shulei operates in the sitting room and others in the boardroom, but I want to believe that any political negotiation, any political formation, any political operation starts at the boardroom as it moves to the people. The people have told One Kenya Alliance that give us a candidate so that that candidate can go and make friends or can go and compete with other candidates. That will be done as soon as possible. In fact, that candidate is ready and we shall unveil it. The other thing is, you do notice that UDA has not gone through any nomination to identify their candidate. They have imposed their candidate to the people of Kenya. Which process did the UDA use to arrive at their candidate? We have not seen it. Today, OKA is governed by the principles of democracy that require that you compete internally first, get a suitable and competent leader that is going to face other competent leaders out there. That has not happened in India. And lastly, Professor Herman Manyora has said that this is a chess game. I agree with him. And if this is a chess game, then OKA is the chess player, not the chess pieces. What we shall unveil to the people of Kenya, that combination, when that time comes, even tomorrow if need be, then it will shock very many people. And we are saying, in the OKA coalition agreement, we have opportunity for coalescing even with others. We are not saying that it must be so-and-so, but we have used science and numbers and data to arrive at our candidate. That unveiling will be done at the right time.
Fred, sadly we're having challenges with his signal. Do you still have Fred? Well, I wish you did, because I could have followed up with a few of the questions. But Honorable Mbowe, because we saw Kalonzo Musyoka there in Yatta making that declaration, and Fred is saying that they will have a candidate who will go make friends. What does this mean? Does it mean a candidate of One Kenya Alliance to go make friends with either Azimio or UDA, or how far?
Fred, I will not speak for, Sam, I'll not speak for Fred, because I think he just got disconnected. I don't know what was his train of thought. But I know that even our leader, Wiper leader, Kalonzo Musyoka, is still talking to other people. And every leader within One Kenya Alliance is talking to other people. So we are trying to build a bigger coalition as we go forward. But you know, I've just realized that political witchcraft is real. Because when I hear leaders, educated people say that it's a two-horse race, and then I ask myself, what crystal ball has anyone looked into that will tell them that it's a two-horse race, considering that the only thing we've seen is crowds attending political rallies. We haven't yet started, or we've just recently started now having our own crowds. And because someone has gone to a market and there's 1,000 people, you've already made a decision that this person is going to be elected and is probably going to win. Mm-hmm. You know, I've said this, Sam, and I've said this many times. There are people currently in public service who are carrying out jobs as CSs, CASs, and all other places, who have not stepped foot in politics. Mm-hmm. But in August 9th, 2022, will be elected to public office. I am telling you this as a fact. But the people who have not declared any position or any interest.
But they will be joining active formations.
They will get. I'm talking about because you know I'm demystifying these two-horse race, because someone started long ago. That means they will win. There is someone who will be governor in Kenya who has not declared. And they will declare, get out, and the campaign period has not even started. So this business of two-horse races, I mean, it means that in Kenya we don't understand these things called change. The winds of change are blowing. We cannot say that we will continuously and forever be dependent on the few political leaders that we know about. I mean, what tells you that in Kenya, a new person, even outside OKA and Azimio and UDA, cannot come up and Kenyans accept them? I mean, unless we are talking political witchcraft, me, I don't think this narrative of two-horse race is a real narrative.
Is it a possibility?
It's just a matter of crowds. I mean, and let me tell you, Sam, if we want to have crowds, we can do it. People mobilize crowds spending money. One Kenya Alliance, we can raise the money and do it. So how come every time you see a crowd of 1,000 people, 2,000 people, 3,000 people, it means those people vote for you? You look at the last election, and I'll talk about my region, Lower Eastern. The Jubilee Party leader, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, and his deputy, William Samoei Ruto, did come to our region. And they had crowds. But what about the voting period? They got no votes. So clearly, let's not say because somebody has been running around the country and having meetings and people are mobilized and you have big crowds, and that means that now the horse is 2. So the minute we start having big crowds, now the horses will become 3. Let me say it's a level playing field. Right. Kenyans will listen to everyone, and Kenyans will pick a leader. And it might not be those that, even those that are being called the two horses, might even be number 3 and 4.
Okay, Fred, now that you're back, I just want to conclude on this conversation about One Kenya Alliance, because you said that once you pick a candidate, he or she will go out. Well, I think so far you have a male principal, so he will go to make friends with others. And you also said that the decision of One Kenya Alliance will shock Kenyans. Why? Fred, can you hear me? Well, unfortunately, he cannot hear me. So we take a short break. When we come back, we'll be concluding on that, but also look at the chaos that were witnessed at a meeting that was attended by Deputy President yesterday in Embakasi East, that Jacaranda rally that has caused quite an exchange between the Ruto camp and the Raila Odinga camp. We'll talk about that shortly after this break.